What if the greatest footballer who ever lived was also the most broken? Before the world knew him as Ronaldo Nazario, he was just a skinny kid from the streets of Rio with a ball at his feet and a dream no one thought possible. He would rise faster than anyone in history, dazzling Europe, terrifying defenders, and earning the name O Fenomeno. But just as the world crowned him king, his own body would threaten to take everything away. From the favelas of Brazil to world sensation, this is the biggest what if in football history, the story of Ronaldo Nazario. In the 1993-94 season, Ronaldo Nazario made his professional debut for Cruzeiro Esporte Clube at just 16 years old. Yet he played with a swagger and authority far beyond his age. Blessed with explosive acceleration, elastic balance, and a low center of gravity that made him almost untouchable in full stride, he tore through defensive lines as if they were training cones rather than seasoned professionals. Defenders twice his age were left lunging at shadows while he glided past them, smiling, improvising, and finishing with a composure that bordered on arrogance. He scored a staggering 47 goals in 44 matches, carrying Cruzeiro to Copa do Brasil glory in 1993, and in doing so announced himself not merely as a prodigy, but as a force of nature. What made him extraordinary was not just the volume of his goals, but the way he scored them. The sudden drop of the shoulder, the hypnotic step-overs, the devastating burst over 5 yards that separated him from markers, and the clinical calmness once through on goal. He combined the street football joy of Rio with the ruthless instincts of an elite striker, blending artistry with brutality in a way the game had rarely witnessed. By the end of that season, the whispers had become headlines. Brazil had not simply discovered another talent, it had uncovered its next superstar, a phenomenon in the truest sense of the word. All the whispers and rumours quickly earned him a transfer to a renowned Dutch club. In the 1994-95 season, Ronaldo Nazario arrived at PSV Eindhoven as a teenage sensation from Brazil. Yet within weeks, he looked as though he had been sculpted for European football all his life. The Eredivisie, known for its tactical intelligence and technical precision, was supposed to test him. Instead, he overwhelmed it. He adapted instantly, translating his street-born creativity into ruthless efficiency, scoring 30 league goals to claim the top scorers award and adding a remarkable tally across all competitions that made seasoned professionals seem ordinary by comparison. At just 17, he did not play like a prospect. He played like a force of nature, disguised in a young man's body. In Eindhoven, his game evolved from dazzling to devastating. He became more vertical, more explosive across open grass, capable of covering 40 yards at full throttle with the ball seemingly glued to his boots. His signature step-over, a blur of hips and shoulders, followed by that savage burst of acceleration, left defenders stranded, twisting, humiliated, asking the same helpless question: how do you stop a player who can outrun you, outthink you, and outfinish you in the same movement? He possessed the rare ability to combine artistry with brutality, gliding past opponents with a smile before dispatching the ball past the goalkeeper with clinical indifference. The Dutch league sharpened his instincts further, refining his positioning between centre-backs and improving his timing of runs behind high defensive lines, so that the raw brilliance of Cruzeiro merged seamlessly with European tactical discipline. The phenomenon gained polish without losing flair, structure without sacrificing spontaneity. Yet even amid the brilliance, the first shadows appeared. Knee problems began to trouble him during the 1995-96 season, sidelining him for a period and introducing the world to the fragility beneath the spectacle. And still, when he returned, he scored as if absence had only heightened his hunger, treating injury as an inconvenience rather than an obstacle. By the summer of 1996, it was evident that PSV was merely a stepping stone. Europe's elite was circling, aware that something unprecedented was unfolding. When he departed for FC Barcelona, he left not just as a prodigy fulfilled, but as the most electrifying young striker in world football, stronger, sharper, and more complete than when he first set foot in the Netherlands. In the summer of 1996, Ronaldo Nazario arrived at FC Barcelona for a then world record fee, and what followed was one of the most electrifying individual seasons European football had ever seen. At just 20 years old, he did not simply adapt to La Liga, he dominated it. During the 1996-97 campaign, Ronaldo scored 47 goals in 49 appearances across all competitions, a return as ruthless as it was spectacular. Every time he received the ball, stadiums held their breath.
At Barcelona, his game became a perfect fusion of power and artistry. He could collect possession near the halfway line, glide past one defender with a subtle feint, then explode into open space with devastating acceleration. His balance made him almost impossible to dispossess, riding tackles and shrugging off challenges as though they barely existed. In tight spaces, his stepovers hypnotized opponents. In open grass, he was untouchable. It was strength, speed, technique, and instinct combined into a single, unstoppable movement. Beyond the brilliance, he delivered trophies, helping Barcelona lift the Copa del Rey, the Supercopa de España, and the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup. He was not merely their striker, he was their identity. By season's end, Ronaldo became the youngest Ballon d'Or winner in history at the time, confirming what the world already knew. Barcelona had witnessed something extraordinary, a forward who blended Brazilian joy with European precision, overwhelming defenders with both elegance and ferocity, and leaving Spain certain that it had just seen the future of football. By the end of his sensational season at FC Barcelona, Ronaldo Nazario had become the world's most electrifying forward, and Europe's elite clubs were circling. In the summer of 1997, he moved to Inter Milan, stepping into the tactical rigor and defensive toughness of Serie A. There, he continued to awe fans, scoring 34 goals in 47 appearances despite the physical demands of Italian football, and suffering the first serious knee injuries of his career. Inter became both a proving ground and a reminder that even the greatest talents are vulnerable. And yet, Ronaldo's brilliance never dimmed. His acceleration, balance, and finishing still leaving defenders helpless. All of this led to the 1998 FIFA World Cup in France, where he carried not only the hopes of Brazil, but the weight of expectation that comes with being the best player in the world. Throughout the tournament, flashes of his genius reminded fans why he was called O Fenomeno. He weaved past defenders, linked the attack with effortless intelligence, and seemed unstoppable in moments of pure magic. Yet tragedy shadowed brilliance. Hours before the final against France, Ronaldo suffered a mysterious, convulsive episode that left the team in shock and the football world in disbelief. Despite playing in the final, he appeared subdued and fragile, a shadow of the force that had dominated in Barcelona and Inter. Brazil fell 3-0, and for a brief, painful moment, the world questioned whether the phenomenon could rise again. But even in defeat, hints of his indomitable spirit lingered. The talent, the fire, and the hunger were far from gone, waiting for the moment he would return to reclaim his place at the summit of football. The years after the 1998 World Cup tested Ronaldo Nazario in ways few athletes could endure. Returning to Inter Milan, he faced the harsh reality of professional football. The body that had carried him to stardom was fragile. Serious knee injuries struck, including a complete rupture of his tendon in early 1999, and recurring ligament damage that kept him off the pitch for long stretches. Each recovery was grueling, with operations, months of rehabilitation, and the psychological weight of wondering if he could ever run, let alone dominate again. By the turn of the millennium, Ronaldo's career seemed at a crossroads. Inter and the footballing world had glimpsed the brilliance of his prime. But now every sprint, every strike, and every touch carried the unspoken question: could the phenomenon truly return? He battled doubt, pain, and the fear of re-injury with relentless determination, slowly reclaiming fitness and confidence. His trademark acceleration, balance, and finishing returned in flashes, reminding fans why they had once called him unstoppable. The 2002 FIFA World Cup in South Korea and Japan became the stage for his greatest redemption. Ronaldo was no longer a teenager, but a survivor, tempered by adversity and fueled by a hunger that only defeat could create. The tournament opened with a statement. Ronaldo scored 8 goals, including a hat-trick against Costa Rica, demonstrating that his lethal combination of speed, dribbling, and composure was fully intact. Game by game, he carried Brazil with the poise of a seasoned general and the unpredictability of the magician that had terrified defenders in Barcelona and Inter. Every goal told the story of resilience, a body that had betrayed him, a spirit that refused to break. In the final against Germany, Ronaldo delivered the crowning moment of his career, scoring twice to secure Brazil's 5th World Cup and earning the Golden Boot as the tournament's top scorer. The same player who had lain in the shadow of injury just 3 years earlier now stood at the summit of world football once more, a triumphant phoenix rising from the ashes. After the triumph of the 2002 World Cup, Ronaldo Nazario seemed unstoppable once more. He returned to Europe, this time joining Real Madrid's CF as part of the famed Galacticos era, a team built around global superstars and relentless ambition. On the pitch, he dazzled once again, combining the explosive pace, hypnotic dribbling, and clinical finishing that had made him a phenomenon since his teenage years. Matches became showcases of his genius, with Ronaldo scoring hat-tricks against the biggest clubs, leaving defenders bewildered and reminding the world why he was considered the most complete striker of his generation. But as dazzling as his talent remained, the shadow of injury never fully lifted. Persistent knee problems and chronic physical strain began to take their toll. His explosive sprints became measured, his runs slightly cautious, and the seasons that had once felt infinite now slipped by in fragments of brilliance, interrupted by long periods of recovery. Even as he lifted trophies with Real Madrid and returned to Brazil with Sport Club Corinthians Paulista, the career that had once promised unbroken dominance was now defined as much by absence as by spectacle. Fans watched in awe at every goal, but they also knew they were glimpsing a version of Ronaldo that might never reach its full, unbridled potential. In the end, he retired in 2011, a legend whose talent had reshaped football, yet whose injuries denied him what might have been. Comparisons with the greatest of all time are inevitable, and whispers still linger that had his body held, had he avoided the cruel interruptions, Ronaldo might have eclipsed even the careers of Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, setting records that would seem untouchable today. And so, when we remember him, we remember not only the goals, the triumphs, and the genius, but also the haunting question that hangs over football history. What if? What if the phenomenon had been allowed to shine without limits? What heights might he have reached? What records might he have rewritten? When Ronaldo Nazario hung up his boots in 2011, the roar of stadiums may have faded, but his influence on football and society was far from over. Retirement for Ronaldo did not mean retreat. It marked the beginning of a new chapter, one in which he channeled his fame, resources, and experience into causes that could inspire and uplift others. He returned to Brazil, reconnecting with his roots and the communities that had nurtured his early dreams. using his platform to give back in ways that reflected both humility and vision. One of Ronaldo's most notable commitments has been in charity and social development. He has supported numerous foundations aimed at improving youth access to education, sports, and healthcare in Brazil. Through the Ronaldo Foundation and collaborations with other philanthropic organizations, he has helped provide opportunities for children in vulnerable communities to pursue their passions, whether on the football pitch or in classrooms. And in doing so, he has worked to ensure that other young talents can dream as freely as he once did. His focus has often been on mentorship, recognizing that guidance and belief can be just as transformative as financial support. Alongside his charitable work, Ronaldo has remained an ambassador for the sport he helped define. He has represented Brazil and football globally at numerous events, promoting the game's values of discipline, creativity, and perseverance. In 2018, he took a historic step into club ownership, becoming the majority stakeholder in Real Valladolid. At Valladolid, Ronaldo sought to combine his experience as a player with his vision for leadership. He worked to strengthen the club's structure, bring in promising talent, and raise its international profile. His presence attracted global attention and inspired both players and fans, proving that his influence extended far beyond the pitch. Under his ownership, Valladolid stabilized financially and began investing in youth development, a reflection of Ronaldo's lifelong belief in nurturing the next generation. In 2021, Ronaldo returned to his boyhood club, Cruzeiro Esporte Clube, assuming ownership and seeking to restore the team's former glory. Ronaldo's ambition was not just about trophies, but about legacy, creating pathways for young players to thrive, investing in infrastructure, and ensuring that the clubs he loved could serve as engines of hope for the next generation. He has also remained a visible figure in international football, attending FIFA events, World Cup ceremonies, and charity matches, often sharing insights, stories, and lessons drawn from a career of triumphs and trials. Beyond football, Ronaldo has cultivated a public persona of responsibility, integrity, and engagement. He has participated in campaigns promoting health, education, and social awareness, leveraging his name to shine a light on issues often overlooked. At the same time, he has been candid about his own challenges, including battles with weight, injuries, and the pressures of fame, using his story to inspire others to persevere despite adversity. Even years after retiring from professional play, Ronaldo's influence is evident not only in the clubs he manages or the initiatives he supports, but also in the broader football culture. Young players still study his movements, coaches reference his techniques, and fans remember the brilliance he brought to the pitch. He has become a bridge between generations, a living reminder of what it means to combine talent with resilience and to turn fame into a force for good. Ronaldo Nazario's story is brilliance tempered by fragility, triumph shadowed by tragedy, and a legacy forever defined by both the magic he achieved and the magic we can only imagine.